What if you could help others to find the power to heal themselves? Physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
When I started teaching my classes, it was in 2002, and I was just doing the past life regressions and contacting the subconscious part. But then as the time went on and we found how powerful this was and what we could do with it, a lot of the students began saying, you know, advanced past life regression doesn't really tell what it's all about. This is so much more than that. We think you should change the name. So it was a few years ago we decided to change the name to Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And this is the healing technique that we've now been teaching it, well, since 2002, that's 12 years.
What if you could time travel with them? Visit mythical places or angelic realms, other worlds, other galaxies. Help others to speak to their higher selves. You can. Dolores has taught thousands of people from across the world how to use QHHT, and now you can learn her method by going directly to dolorescannon.com. And don't forget to mention the discount code MORETALKS.
Established over 100 years ago, Watkins Books is one of the world's oldest and leading independent bookshops specializing in esoterica. We have the widest selection of esoteric books in the UK, and our friendly and knowledgeable staff are here to assist you in a unique ambience of our shop. So come and visit us in the heart of London as we're open every day.
The More Show is supported by Mindscape, Paranormal and UFO Matrix magazines, available for download on all major digital platforms. The comments and views expressed on The More Show are those of the people that make them and do not necessarily reflect the view of Kevin Moore, The More Show, or this radio station and its affiliate or sponsors. This show is for entertainment purposes only.
Broadcasting from the UK and across the world online. You're now watching the UK's only alternative late night talk show. And I'm your host, Kevin Moore. For the next hour, I'll be covering subjects that will open up your mind and provide you with information you may have never heard before. On today's show, I'm joined with Ken Elliott, who is an award-winning artist and author who has been showcased on media all over the world. Now, Ken has learnt how to manifest items both big and small, first creating his desires on the other side and watching those thoughts take form in our physical world. Ken is living a life that many call magical and miraculous, and over the past 20 plus years, Ken has been teaching others those simple techniques so they can create the life they desire. He joins me today to discuss his latest book, Manifesting 123. Ken Elliott, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's a real honor to be here.
It's great to have you on, and I can actually pronounce your name and get it right this time because it's such a simple name. I always, whenever people come on with a complicated name, I always get it wrong in the intro. I know I do. So, yes. Now, manifesting. Wow. You know, I've had plenty of people come on to talk about this. And I think you do bring a different slant towards it. I think you do. It's something that I really, you know, am trying to embrace in my life big time right now. So I thought, rather than saying, you know, oh, it's great to have it on and it's, you know, yeah, everyone can do this. I really need this as well. We all need this in some respects. For me, I really want it to, I don't know if I should concentrate on the money side of it or concentrate on what will bring the money in. So rather than saying, I want this amount, it's more of a case of, I want this to happen, which will, indirectly cause that to happen.
I want to make a note of what you just said. We're going to get into that exact phrase. Because what you ask for is not what you require. You just had it backwards. But that's what we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that. But I wanted to put it out there that it's something that I'm seriously trying to apply. I mean, every time I go to bed, I've started only yesterday, but I am saying over a few minutes. I keep repeating the same thing before I go to bed.
Yes.
Of what it is I want to achieve. I had someone from the Seth material on yesterday, the Jane Roberts Seth material.
Yes.
And Seth did say, that manifestation starts with concentrating on it, of what you want, making sure that you have dealt with any negativity which may be limiting blocks or putting blocks on what you may not be aware of, putting blocks on of issues that you may have. So you may say you want it in one hand, but on the other hand, you've got these limiting belief factors in there which are stopping you.
Sounds a little complicated though, doesn't it?
It doesn't. I think the only way, like I said to the guy from Seth, was to get into contact with those limiting beliefs is to get into meditation and try to be guided by your inner voice on what if there is any limiting beliefs, then you're not asking anyone for that limiting belief, you're going within to find it. Yeah. And it's only you that is giving you that truth in the sense.
Well, and that's a valid technique. That's a valid approach. Yes.
Yeah. But let's just start with yourself to begin with here, and we're going to get all into this. I just wanted to bring that in the forefront, rather than so people know that's where we're going. But with yourself, before you wrote this book, and I'm guessing from your intro and your bio, it was 20 plus years you've been teaching this work. Tell me if I'm wrong or right there. 20 plus years?
No, teaching? I've been experiencing this for about 20 years.
Right. Okay, experience for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Going back to when this all started with yourself, with a lady called Judy Goodman, who's about 2,200 miles away from where you live. There's a reason why I mention her. This will become apparent. Yeah. What was your belief in spirituality, in physical reality, and non-physical reality?
You mean like barbecue and television and girls? I mean, that was my sort of system. That's what was going on at the time.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I was just oblivious. I'm just, just a guy from Texas. I'm just going through life and with half a clue. And suddenly I had a problem and went through some therapy on that, some light therapy, and I couldn't get an answer on that. And I called someone and asked for the most accurate psychic in the United States. So I was sort of going down the rabbit hole to try to get a handle on what was going on, and someone recommended Judy Goodman as the best there is. So she helped me a lot with that. And then when I didn't sign up is I started remembering some very profound dreams from my late teens. Not that those apply to anything here. And I started having some incredible experiences. I was going out of body. I didn't know anything about that. Then I met the foremost out-of-body author. We became friends, and I learn more about Judy. And just to preface the show, what you're going to hear today is something extraordinarily simple. It's, cars are very complicated. And all we need to know is that you have a key, or now you have a button, and you push the button and the car starts. And it works or it doesn't, right? And if the car doesn't start, then there's something absolutely wrong with the system. But in manifesting, the system is perfect. It's always on. It always works. So you're going to get a key today. And we've already been doing this. And the world is filled with books and conversations about what I call best practices. All these ideas that if we do this the right way, or as close as we know to be the best procedure, then we'll raise our outcome to get the result that we require. I didn't say want. We're going to come back around to that. I never say want or need. So with Judy, I was in San Francisco at the time. She lived in Georgia, 2,100 miles away. And a stranger called me and was trying to give me a heads up on Judy, what she can do, which was beyond anything I'd heard. And I liked ESP and all that as a kid, so I was up on that. But I wasn't a metaphysical person. But I sure was starting to have some experiences and meet some people in the field. She said, if you send something to Judy in thought, she'll get it. And I just kind of put on the stupid face, because I can do that on video now. I'm very good at that. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, I sent Judy a bouquet of flowers last year for her birthday, and I called her the next day, and Judy described the flowers that I sent. She could see them in the spirit world, in the dimension alongside ours, the other side. And, well, that's just the craziest thing I'd ever heard of. But, you know, I called her up. She had a birthday coming up in a day or two, and I called her up and said, I want to do this thing that this person told me about. And she said, all right, so what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to concentrate on it really, really hard and send it to you. And she said, look, you're sending me a gift, so it's going to come from the heart. You think of the thing, give it a few seconds. You don't have a picture of it. You don't need to be an artist or a creative. You think of the thing, you send it out through your heart because it's a gift. I'll get it every time. And so for almost those 20 years, that's what I did. And I played with that. And I learned how thought works, how it takes form. And that's a game changer, because we don't petition the light switch. We don't put sticky notes on it. We don't go to the church or the light switch and contribute to that and make appeals and, you know, and worry about what we say when we're around the light switch, because we want the lights to come on. The light is hooked up to the power plant. Today you're going to hear and know how the light is hooked up to the power plant, how your thoughts make things in real time. We've been doing it all our lives. And wherever we are in our lives, congratulations. If you think it's so-called good or so-called bad, congratulations, because we're responsible for a lot of what we've created. There is a place of destiny, I believe. There are coincidences that are not metaphysical. There is the math of 7 billion people on the planet. So things will happen. But we have a lot of wiggle room, a lot of free space to create what it is that we desire.
Yes. Okay, so when Judy, you know, when you've been working with Judy for all these years, and you've gained all this proof as well, proof to yourself, not needing to prove it to anyone else, but just it was your own truth, and you can't take the truth that it was away from the truth that it was the truth, right?
Yeah, it was. So help me God.
Yeah. So absolutely. So where did that lead you in the form and the ideas of where it was coming from and what this other side is as well? Did you get into any other books or metaphysical material that, you know, to progress you to write the book that you've written?
After doing that for so many years, you would think I would make a move, but I didn't. I was just fooling around. See, I'm an average guy, maybe below average guy, because I thought about that, but it was just a game for me. And it never occurred to me that I could use this for my own good. I was just playing a game. Judy hates this word, but I was just playing with the psychic lady, right? What I didn't know, she had extreme patience with this. I realized all this later. And she knew that down the road this book would be written. Now, I thought somebody else would write it because I'm not the writer. I'm not the metaphysical person. Now, along the way, very quickly after I met Judy Goodman, I became very, very close to William Buhlman, the foremost out-of-body author.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And he made an offhand remark. We became very close. I was doing his website, and I was privy to those 10,000 letters he had at the time from all over the world about how out-of-body works. And I did some out-of-body. I wasn't that adept at it. I could have worked a little harder at it. I did not, but I got over there, and I still go over there almost on an automatic basis, but it's not, you know, many times a week like he does. Now, William said something about manifesting. It was just an aside, and here comes the big deal. This is it. He was making lists of things. People have vision boards. He was a list guy, and William's a guy's guy. Guys don't make lists. They don't ask for directions, right? We're microwave chefs, right? You know, so that's how it goes with a lot of guys. And I'm Mr. Average Guy, and I was surprised that William would make lists. It just didn't seem to sync with me as much as and he's a metaphysical guy and all that, but I didn't get the list thing. And he would read me what was on the list. He made 2 of those lists, and I knew it was on every list. That first list, everything came true. And he made an aside statement one time that really caught me. This got my attention. This was not a plaything. He said, and he's an adept, so he goes up to the other side, out of body, a few times a week. He said sometimes when he's over there, he would see the things on his wish list arrayed, just lined up. If he puts it on the list, he can go over there and he can watch it start to take form. No, I've never heard that. That's not in the literature anywhere that I'm aware of. And if he's been working on something for a short period of time, it would be like a wisp of smoke. It would look like a vapor on the other side. Now, when you're over there, you have more accessibility to knowledge. You're not limited by this piece of meat. You have a greater knowing about things. So just observing something, you get information. He could look at that wisp of smoke, and he would know what that represents, even though it didn't have a form. Now, sometimes he's not looking for solid objects. Some of the things that he's after are concepts. It could be happiness. It could be the perfect career. And they may not have a structure, but when you look at that wisp of smoke, you know what it is. Now, things that he's been working on for a while, maybe he needed a new refrigerator. And he's been on this thing for 6 weeks. It's on his wish list. And every day, as people recommend, he looks at that wish list and he touches it. He might light a candle on it. You know, what's really happening here, every time he touches it, it's another layer of intention. It's more thought being put onto that wispy form. So if he's been on that refrigerator for 6 weeks or a couple of months, he can see clearly a pretty well-formed refrigerator. And it's got a blush of color on it. It might be white, it might be red, it might be harvest gold. He needs to get with it if he's doing a harvest gold refrigerator. But he can see it. He can see it. Now, if he's been on it for quite a long time, sometimes these things are completely solid physical over there, and you can set your watch on it. They're coming in. And this is how things are made. This is the machine. You put a quarter in, you get a quarter back. You know, it will make a result. Now, all of this wishing and hoping, all of the vision boards, all of the wish list, all of the watch what you say and all of this, these are all good things. And every time you think about that singular concept or that singular thought and you come back to it, it takes on more form. It's like laying down a line of bricks, and every day you put another brick over there, another brick over there. Pretty soon you've got a 2-story brick house. It's as simple as that. And it kind of makes sense that if you think of something, that it could make a form. I can argue it either way. But the bottom line is, William sees these things, and I'll never forget what he said. I didn't write that down in that way in the book, but he said, I'd be stupid not to do this. I can put it on my list and do this, touch that thing every day, and I can go over there and I can watch it taking form. And by the way, if you let it goes back to vapor, it goes back to nothingness. And after being around this, now I just fooled around with this for over 15 years, but I got serious about this some years ago, partially because of what William said and some things that happened for me. And now when I look at everything in my room, everything that I can see in your office was thought first. There's not anything growing naturally there. There's not anything that was an act of God. I don't see a lightning strike coming through the side wall. I don't see gold nuggets erupting out of the floor in a natural fashion. So everything there was a piece of thought. And if you take a piece of paper, this was a tree. Now, how many man hours does it take to take a tree and hire somebody and bond that truck and make a company, get it to the sawmill, blah, 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 blah. The house that Jack built stuff, tens of thousands of hours to make one little piece of paper. It's thought. And it just stuns me when I think of everything that's ever been invented since man arrived on the planet, since mankind, men and women arrived on the planet. It was thought first, unless it happened as an accident, act of God. I was here when they got here. All these inventions, trillions of inventions, a thought first. Thought first. Now that is the key to the kingdom. And everything that you've heard about manifesting, I probably support it. But it's a lot simpler than all these different directions coming from all these different people. We're all trying to do the best we can to get the best possible result. But what no one ever told us is how it worked. And when you think it immediately starts to take form. And I was sending these things to Judy 2,100 miles away for, almost 20 years as a game. And then one day I saw The Secret and it changed everything for me.
Yeah, the movie The Secret.
Yeah.
I bet it did. Even though there are issues with it that we've all got with it, I'm guessing. But it was game changing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying here is it is very simple to manifest, and if I was thinking, as you were talking and trying to, and keeping up with you as well, that actually I have been manifesting quite a bit when I think about it. I think my frustration is now I want to move the amount of money up that I'm earning right now, because obviously doing this job, it doesn't bring a lot in, but I'm very, very grateful for what it does. But
Yeah.
it's the hard slog now of increasing it to a level that's comfortable.
Well, let's take.
But then
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right, let's take that apart. You stated that this sort of job doesn't make that much money. That's a thought.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oopsie daisy.
Let's take it. Let's call it for what it is. It's a command.
I'm calling it not to make any more, aren't I? Yeah.
Yes. So that's a command, and thoughts are like gravity. Gravity is a law, and gravity doesn't judge what I'm going to do with this. If I want to slap you or me with it, or whatever, gravity doesn't judge it. Gravity just brings things to the ground, and all thoughts do is make things. Period. That's what they do. They just make things. It is our greatest gift. It's our birthright. No one taught us how to breathe. No one trained us how to breathe. We just breathe. And our thoughts, we're thinking all the time, and our thoughts are making stuff all the time. Now, that was a one-off sort of thing you said, but I know that's come up before. So every time you say that, you put another brick on the deal over there. Another one is want or need. Now, I don't want to make my thing complicated either, but there are just 2 or 3 things here, and that's all you need to remember. That's all you should remember. See, I'm in the habit of saying need too. Not in that sentence, it's okay, but I just strike it anytime I hear it. When I'm on the other side, and I get over there enough, it's very literal. So if you type the letter B on your computer, all it would do is make B here. B. It's not going to do anything else. It'll only do what you type it. Over there, if you think a thing, it will make it instantly. There's no resistance over there. If it's just you and a void, it's going to make it. I can't go up to some cathedral and paint it pink. There's too many other people's intentions on that. I can go to the cathedral if I wanted to. I can go to the whatever it is. I can go to the dark side of the moon. But if I declare a thing, it will happen immediately over there. It's a little slower over here, but it's still very, very literal. So I love the idea about people talking about relationships or jobs. I'll just call them careers. I call relationships perfect partners and perfect friends.
Yeah.
And when it comes to money, and all of these things, there's this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful word that's equally or more important. There's the equivalent of money. You could get a reduction in what you pay to live. You can get, somebody can come in and say, I love your show. Wow, Kevin, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm not going to call it a grant. I'm just going to fund this show. Or you know what? I don't want you to do this show. I want you to be on the BBC. You're going to have a different kind of show, and you get a salary and all this sort of stuff. And that's the equivalent of money. You didn't have to make it happen here, but it could happen here. And it can happen without the MONEY, punching in, punching out. It can just come in, and it does. So,
Yeah.
So the idea would be to set the goal. In the end, what is it? What is it we're looking for? perfect health, security. We want to be loved, appreciated. We'd like to fill our cup. We'd like to just be fulfilled. Those sort of things. So when I'm manifesting things, I have that goal in mind. Now, we live in a world where you need to pay for the place where you live, da 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 da. Those are assumptions, but somehow that needs to be taken care of. I may not need to pay for it, but somehow it needs to be taken care of. So that's where I go when I'm manifesting. But I'm not going to literally say before I have that perfect career that I've got to lose weight. I can't wear this anymore. I've got to get a suit and tie. I don't have any suit and tie. I've got to get some new clothes. I've got to, all these things have to happen. No, 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 no. So the beauty of manifesting 1, 2, 3, and the number 1 is, and here's another big key. This is the big secret, is that how your thoughts work. You can walk away from the show right now and have some great successes, but there is a lot more. And it's mostly reinforcement. But the other big key here is that your thoughts can make the future. So the statement you made is a statement of the now, for the most part. Or it's a future that's just out there a week or two, or a month or two, or a year. But you can imagine that you're in your future. So I'm going to shift gear. I'm in my future right now, and in my future, I observe I have perfect health. If I'm sitting in your chair, you're in your future, and you observe, oh, I never have to worry about financials anymore. How in the heck did that happen? You don't have to know how it happened. You simply observe in your future the end result. And your thoughts, however that works, they will go to work on that as efficiently and as quickly as possible. And there's a number of moving parts, or maybe there's only 2 or 3, but we'll start to work on them. And what you really don't require from thought is to line up all these things that have to happen. No, 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 no. It just happens. And it looks magical because you can't conceive of how this could happen, but you put it out there anyway and you see the result.
Okay. So how many times? So okay, you say don't use the word want, and I've heard this many times before. I used it there. It's good to just bring it up, maybe just as an example. But yeah, it's a reminder to me. So would you use the word then? I already have blah blah blah. What it is you're wanting to experience? Yes,
that's fine. Again, the bottom line is you're in your future and you're making an observation. It's kind of like that barking dog next door. There's some things that you really want to get rid of, an issue. Is there any chocolate? I got to take a break. I got to get some chocolate right now. If there's something that you want diminished or eradicated in your future, you observe it doesn't exist. When's the last time I thought about that? In my future, I'm at my perfect weight. I watched that happen. I didn't do anything different, but something snapped, and I wasn't drinking 4 Cokes a day. Do you think if I went down to 1 Coke a day, I could lose some weight? Yeah, lost 15 pounds in 2.5 weeks. Just on Coca-Cola, for crying out loud. I would have never done it on my own, but I put it in my future that I'm at my perfect weight. It came with an ease and a grace, and here's this other little piece of magic. I'm in my movie with these different scenes. That's what I call it. I don't meditate well. This is not a proof of faith or concentration, or if you're special. We all have this ability equal, like gravity and breathing. So I simply stated that I'm in my future and I'm at my perfect weight. And I hit my high school weight in 2.5 weeks. Now I floated back up, as people do, but I'm not anywhere near where I used to be. I'm 10 pounds off what I was.
Which goes to show you had to. It's not just about manifesting. You had to leave the house. You had to do something, which was your walking, your proactiveness in this process was to stop the Coke. Obviously, you knew Coke wasn't good for you, but you obviously maybe changed your diet as well. But you didn't just sit there and just manifest.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Frankly, I didn't do a thing. I was sitting at the table one day. I've been 2 weeks into this. I'll never forget. I still see this play. I'm just sitting there, and there was like a click. Now, there wasn't a click, but it was like a click. And I looked over the refrigerator, and I realized that I don't have the desire for the munching on the candy or the Cokes like I used to. And that was all I did. That was all I did.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, that's impossible. But I was in my future, I visualized it, and here's that other key again. I'm in my future, I'm at my perfect weight. I did say it came with an ease and a grace. I didn't go to the hospital, I didn't get sick to make this happen. And in that scene where I'm in my future about the perfect weight, then I said, I'm so grateful. Remember that thing where I sent Judy the gift? She said, think of the thing. It's a gift. It'll automatically come from your heart. This is the weak force, and love is the powerful force. And there's two great forces. One is love and one is fear. So thoughts will make things, and if you load them up with either love or fear, it will make them as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And what is a worry is a thought with fear on it. And it will happily make it for you. It'll make all the worries you want because it won't judge.
Yeah, as in, oh my God, if I don't get this money, I'm going to lose my house. Or, oh my God, if I don't get this money, I'm not going to have the right equipment to go traveling with, or whatever it may be.
Yes, and it's making it as fast as it possibly can. And not because it loves you, not because you're special. It just does it because that's the law. That's what thoughts do.
But with that fear there, you're not attracting the best results, are you, for what you're looking for?
Well, let me come back around to attraction. You're literally making whatever you think. And if you load it with love or fear, then you have just hit the accelerator pedal on it. Now, in The Secret, when I saw The Secret, I was stunned. I turned that off, and I just sat there quietly for I don't know how long, because here's all these people written all these books. They travel all over the place, and they're very good at what they do, and they have changed tens of thousands of lives. But they don't know how it works. I thought, oh my God, nobody knew about the smoke thing. It was all best practices. And they're just like the rest of us, only they've been at it longer, and they've compiled more data, but their challiness about the wish lists and the vision boards and what we think and getting out of the way and all these other things, all these little add-ons, it's really simple. When you think it, you're like a genie. When you think it, it starts to form up around you, and you let it with fear of love, and here it comes. Now, the law of attraction is kind of a misnomer, but it's a good title. It's a good working title. But what really is going on there, and I'm not knocking The Secret, go watch it. There's lots of truth in that. What's going on is nothing gets attracted unless there is a thought. If there's a singular thought, then things can come to the thought. And if you imagine you're in your movie, and one of the scenes in your movie is that you're in your future, and you observe at the end of the day, because we don't need all this detail unless you are going to insist on detail. You're in your future at the end of the day, end of the working day, and you realize, you observe, that you just love your career. You just love your career. It fulfills you, and they love you at work, or maybe you're working by yourself. We don't need to say work, do we? You just love your career, and it's fulfilling, and you can't wait to get more of that tomorrow. You just love it. And it takes care of you completely, financially, and in your heart and your soul. You're just fulfilled, and you're just extraordinarily happy. You love every bit of it. And then you say, I'm so grateful. And what your thoughts will do is they'll start to make this. It's a form. It won't look like a convertible. It's going to be a concept. It will start to make that thing. And my friends, Judy's not the only one, she can watch this take place in the field around me in real time. She'll see that puff of smoke. And if I stay with it, it will begin to take on more and more form. But you don't have to require that you lose weight and you get a new wardrobe and all these things before you get the perfect career. Now, what is the perfect career? You don't even need to know what that is. Would it be in broadcasting? Would it be in coaching? Would it be as an author? I don't know. What would it be? What would it be? But perfect is good, and we know perfect when we see it.
Well, a lot of time people, talk about, trying to find your purpose. We all have a purpose.
Yeah.
And with this method, you're not really looking for your purpose. You're really just letting the universe come in and say, well, whatever's best for me, let it bring it in.
No, you're requiring it. You're requiring it. That's a command. And you're building it every day. People talk about the
What if?
universe, and I'll
Mhm.
go the universe. That's a good word. It's a handy word. And it's God or the architect or the Buddha or the nature force, whatever that is. And I subscribe to the idea that we have a destiny. We're going to meet certain people, it seems to be. We're going to have certain proclivities and gifts and this sort of thing. But I really feel like we have a lot of free space, and we can live happily or unhappily. We can live in Antarctica. We can live in Omaha. We have a lot of things that we can do. And if we feel limited, we can unburden those limits by simply putting it in the future. And these limits don't exist. Going back to that barking dog, I'd written the book, it was 3 or 4 months old. I'm going down the freeway, and there's this nagging thing. It's like the barking dog next door. And I don't hear it anymore. But damn it, sometimes I hear the barking dog. And I thought, oh, anything that's in my way, anything that bothers me, I'll put it in my future. In my future, that thing does not exist. So people have had health problems. They have been unhappy. They have had the crummy boss. They're in a crummy relationship. That doesn't mean that the relationship has to end. Something can very positive happen in the relationship. They
Yeah.
go to their future, and those issues, those problems, don't exist anymore. And that's where the stories come from. A lot of the stories. They're making change in ways that they never dreamed they could do, which is
No, I
looks miraculous.
yeah. And this whole thing of bringing your future self in and heading towards that, which is only the future at this present moment, because obviously it's in flux all the time. But yeah, making the best of you, of whatever the situation is you're looking for in that maybe not too distant future. That's a one that it makes your work very different. But if you're looking for purpose in this moment now, if you're trying to figure out, well, what is my purpose, because that will give me my joy, maybe it's difficult to tune into that sometimes, isn't it, for some of us.
Well, you make the statement that in your future you are doing that. You are doing that, and you're so very grateful. It will start to make it. And there's not a lot of moving parts on that one, I maintain. People have asked for wisdom. Comes around quick. Nobody has to get fired, no diploma, Yeah.
That makes sense. So basically, you're saying in this future universe, I've got my purpose, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yes. Yes.
We're not labeling it. It is this or it is that. We're just letting what's that best part of us come in to guide us. And again, like I say, we're not just becoming manifesting, sitting down manifesting all the time. We're taking action in the meantime to walk that path as well, because it's got to come. We've got to walk the path still.
Yeah, that's helpful. That's very helpful. It's like that thing.
Some people
I want to win the lottery, but you got to buy a ticket, right? The old joke. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Without that, you're a bit buggered. But okay. Now this does make your work different. Now I'm getting it, and that's a very interesting aspect of it. And I reckon that's been said in different forms by maybe different people, but this is a completely different way of saying it, and it resonates with a lot more ease. How patient have you got to be from desiring it or putting that future vortex, that future space out there to getting it? I guess sometimes it can be instantaneous, and other times it could be take a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's some things I've had in the works for 3 years now. They're pretty big. But what's big? There's no difference between a big miracle and a little one. But for whatever reason, there's 10 or 12, 14 things, they're all taken care of. And there's these others. But I see glimpses, I have pieces of it, but it's not in whole. It's not complete. It's not the full pitcher full of the elixir, so to speak. Now,
right.
It doesn't matter if you believe this, but it is helpful if you're positive. It doesn't matter really much at all because your thoughts are just going to make things anyway. So I look at it this way. I have one foot that will never touch the ground again because I've been the other side enough, and there's a lot more than this school ground we're in. There's another part of me that's very, very practical. I'm a full-time artist. I'm running a business. I can't just fly away and hope that things take care of themselves. So I'm very grounded in the other sense. And I work with business people. They call and we do sessions, and they walk away with their script. And what they're talking about is not, it's a lot about income. It's a lot about success of their business, how that metric is measured. It doesn't have to be money, but somehow the business is successful. A side effect would be money. So we're talking about success. So we're thinking of these in very practical ways. And when you start to measure things and you start to manifest things and put a metric on it, if you're patient or not, it doesn't matter. Now, if you're having impatient thoughts and you're thinking the opposite, then it's creating the opposite. An example would be, I'm in my future and I just love my perfect career. I'm at home at the end of the day. You don't need to know where this is. And I love my career for all the things we talked about earlier. Now, and I'm so grateful, and there's a scene in my movie, and I'm all done, and I'm back in the real world. I've got my eyes open, and the bill came in the mail today. Oh, that's a whopper. I didn't see that one coming. And you have this other thing about, oh boy, I sure need that perfect career because I'll have a better income stream. But you know what? I'm really not worthy. I'm really not any good. If they find out about me, I'll get fired. So you've got things going on two tracks here. Now, one can entangle the other, but let's say, and people do, they get the perfect career. And down the road, they get fired. Congratulations, they got an A++. They manifested two perfectly good thoughts. And your thoughts, I did good, didn't I? I did exactly what you said for me to do. And that's how it goes. And there is the prayer department, there is the divine and that, and I'm a belt and suspenders guy. I like to say I have a prayer life, but I manifest too. And coming back to that universe thing, I'm responsible and I have the tools to make anything. I had a thing about manifesting a vacation thing. And I'm in the future and I set down my bag and I go out to the balcony, I hold this rail and I look out and it's white. Now there's a place where I don't specify, I don't know where I am, but I'll say I'm in my future and I'm happy to be here. I didn't have to worry about the time away or the money to get there. And within 2 months, I was holding that rail and looking at the Caribbean. It was a magical thing that happened, somebody's surprise birthday party. I just paid my airfare and my money was no good there for 10 days. That was a remarkable vacation and the equivalent of a 5-star hotel, private residence. And then later on top of that, I'm still doing this, and someone gifted me, they put me on their buddy pass with a major American airline. So it's like I have my own private Air Force now. Now, what is that about? How did I manifest? I just said, I don't have to worry about the time away or the money to get there. So free airfare works. It's standby. It's a little complicated. I don't use it that much. But if I want to go to Europe, I just call and say, what time do I need to be at the airport? And I'll just wait for a seat. Now, that's just insane.
Okay, and people can relate this to relationships, obviously, as well, because that's a big one.
Yes, it is. Very big one. This is my recommendation. I like to use the couch. When I don't need a lot of detail, I'll use the couch. If I want to go to Paris, I'm all about Paris, and I'm on the street, and I hear the cars, and I'm looking at Notre Dame, and everything is Paris. I'm immersed in Paris. But perfect partner, there's 3.5 billion females and males on the planet. Let's just guess, how many perfect partners could there be? There might be 300,000? Out of 7 billion, I mean, the odds are working for you. They may all speak your language, but it's more than that soulmate or that twin flame thing. So let's not limit perfection. And we're going for perfection. Now, what does the perfect partner mean? My ears are a little big, but I get a pass. and she's got this little freckle over here, and I think it's endearing. I think it's really cute.
Yeah,
So we get a
nothing's
pat.
perfect, is it?
Yeah. So I'm on the couch again, and I'm in the future, and my perfect partner sits down beside me. Cushion sinks down a little bit. And I pat her on the leg, but I don't look at her. The instant I look at her, I specify all these things she has to be. That might take a little time, might not. But let's just open up the possibilities. You know, if someone handed you a check for $1 million in 10 seconds, you're going to sit in your chair and just think about the possibilities first. You're not going to do anything until you go through a few possibilities. So, perfect partner, and that is being put together as fast as it can. Now, here's an observation. If you're going for perfect, that's a pretty high bar. We didn't specify all these things, but that's a good bar. That's your perfect bar. In my case, I can certainly say, since I've been doing this for some time, and my perfect partner is not sitting next to me right now, maybe I needed a little polishing up. You think? So I've been learning on the job, and I'm hopefully a better person. Well, I'm a better person I was 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. Yeah. Now, another thing that happened, and other people have had this thing happen as a side effect, when you go in your future, everything is good. I like that Randy Newman song, My Life is Good. Well, that's what you're doing in your future. And you're in there every day, just once a day. You don't do this all the time. You'll never leave the house. Once a day, 1 brick a day. And one day I woke up and I knew I'd never be lonely. Now, that's a weird thing to wake up with. I also knew it was permanent. Now, this is not an egotistical thing, but as it is right now, I'm my own perfect partner. And I'd like to have the perfect partner, but so far so good, and I'm not lonely, and I'm happy, and I'm doing fulfilling work and painting well, and on the air with you. We're out here making a wave. I'm trying to help some fellow knuckleheads like me and some very bright people. They get this a lot quicker than I will. So we're doing good. Life is good. A number of people, they awakened and they were happier, exponentially happier. And a couple of these people weren't very happy. And they called me later in the day and said, I haven't been this happy since I was in high school or junior high school. And everybody at work noticed it. And they said, are you on medication? Do you have a boyfriend? What's up? All the innuendo. So we're spending time in the future, and our future is in very good shape. And even though we didn't ask for these specific concepts, people are waking up with them. Another businessman called me from the office at midday. He said, I woke up and I realized I'm not going to have the level of stress I had before. I didn't ask for this, but I still had these big deals coming at me, and people are very, very very attached to their money when it runs through our office, but I don't feel the pressure anymore. It's still there, but it just rolls right off of me. What happened? It was a side effect of manifesting these good things in your future.
Well, can I ask you, have you used this work to? Are you looking for a partner?
Yes. Have you got one?
Right.
What?
yeah. She's just around. She's a bit shy right now.
You're a good-looking guy. Got a sister?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But if you, how long has that? I know I'm being quite private here right now, but how long has that process been for you to be looking for someone?
About 4 years. And there have been some delightful people that I have met, and
right,
and to the point where it's just sort of that close, and they decide or I decide or we decide not, and all of those people, virtually every one of those people, I'm still very, very close with only one exception I can think of.
And I bet someone else using this work, it could just be in their lifeline right now that they could use this work for a relationship, and they can meet someone in a couple of months, right?
Yeah.
Where maybe for yourself, you've had to work on yourself first, like you say you've been doing, and potentially yours is just round the corner in a sense, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just, you are living your own work. That's what I'm kind of saying. Do you know what I mean? That's what I wanted to get from you. That you're practicing what you're preaching. Yeah. But it's interesting to hear what you've got to say. I feel the same as well. I've been single for a while now, and I something came to me today is that you probably got a few things to do yet before you're going to bump into someone. Don't say no, but this is what came. This is just maybe a process you're going through right now, even to write a goddamn couple of books. I say that so enthusiastically, but I know that's what needs the time right now, and I'm okay with that, because that kind of message came to me, like a download, and they can't explain those downloads. Sometimes they're coming more and more.
Well, there's always something to do. There's always something to do.
Yeah,
and we don't know the timing. It could have already happened.
Yeah,
it could have already happened. You already know her, or you're one phone call away. She's in the next office. Haven't met her yet. And she's, one of you is a little clumsy, and you're going to bump into each other, and who knows?
Yeah.
But it's
that's right.
The truck. It's on the truck.
Well, put it this way, I would, and I'm sure you can say this, and people watching this who may be single as well, I would rather be in the right relationship, not with anyone perfect. No one's talking about that. Forget the silly word perfect. I mean, we've talked about that, but just I would rather be in a relationship where there's balance, and where there's love, and where there's just it's the right person, in the sense of it's not coming from any silliness or any games or anything like that. It's just a bit more balanced.
Well, perfect takes care of a lot of that. So here's a little script. Grab a pencil, piece of paper, everybody. Here's that perfect partner thing, and this goes for perfect health. I'm in my future, and I have perfect health. Now, you can substitute this for perfect partner. I'm in my future, and I have perfect health. It's perfect physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I think that covers it. And we didn't specify much else, but those are big things to have on the list. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
It also implies that you're there too, by the way. It wouldn't be perfect without that in our part. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and there's bigger things being worked out as well, which is something else that's going on, which we're not always in control of. We are, but you've got to let go sometimes, just to bring things in. It's bloody interesting. This very interesting. Much
I'm
more.
even funny about that. You say let go. When I wrote this book, every time a phrase like that came up, I wouldn't use it because it's hard. If I have a problem with my left leg because of pain, I can't just let it go. If I have been sexually assaulted,
No, that's true.
If I had a bad childhood, how do I let that go? So I leave those things out. And this is so incredibly simple. I thought it'd be so easy for people to get it. It's too darn simple. So I came up with this thing about the genie. If you're a genie and you think it, it happens. Can't get any simpler than that. It sounds like a fantasy, but I have a number of friends who can watch this happen. Here's another one. We all have cell phones now. We all have smartphones. This is the ultimate app. And I just got a better way to describe this now. So, perfect partner. You get your manifesting app. You're manifesting 1, 2, 3. Your own personal one. Doesn't have to be my book's name on it, but you have the drill. And you get out your app, so to speak, and you look at all those things. You got 600,000 apps on that thing, and you go perfect partner. And what does it say? Oh, I'm in my future, and I'm with my perfect partner. Don't look at your perfect partner. And da-dot. Oh, close the app. Okay. Oh, and do this every day. Now, by the way, when you're doing this, you're in your future. Here's a law of attraction. You've made yourself a target. for the perfect career, perfect partner, da da da. That career and that partner can't fit through the keyhole of your front door. So we have to say yes a little more. So somebody will call me, I'm an artist, and say, you gave this thing to charity. We want you to come to the thing on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. We're going to put you at a table with some really interesting people. Yeah, you got to wear a tux and come on down. It's going to be great fun. And I'll go, okay, I'll be there. Because I don't know what can happen. And always,
or who you bump into.
Yeah. It could be career, it could be partner, it could be helping me with my, with the income. I could just have a great time. I can let go of maybe some burdens I'm carrying around, which is number 2 of this book. Can't let you go without helping with that fear stuff. Yeah, you just show up. Just show up.
Just show up, yeah. And that's all you can do sometimes. That's a really important side, that is that just showing up.
Yeah.
As when you wrote your book, you just showed up.
Well, after 2 years of I'm gonna, shoulda, maybe, somebody else is going to write this. One of those guys in The Secret should write this, but they didn't have that experience, apparently.
No.
So
no.
Yeah. So I got to talk about it. I won't shut up about it. It's so easy and so darn powerful.
Absolutely. And so you would say keep doing it every day, once a day, until you've attracted that which you desire.
Well, I may have, I don't know, 9. I didn't make a list. Some people write it down, so remember them all. I probably have pushing 20 things in my movie, 20 different scenes in my movie. And if something comes in, I'm in the perfect house, but I keep it in the movie. I keep it in the movie.
So,
perfect partner.
See, and you're not.
I'll keep her in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm so grateful.
So you're not. And you're not diluting anything by having that many.
No. It's unlimited.
No.
It's unlimited.
Yeah. Well, some people say you should only concentrate on one thing, and and that, and I'm like, well, that's never been the case for me. I've got a few things going on. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, and okay, so just to cover this as well, so you're creating your desires on the other side in a sense, and watching the thoughts take form in our physical world. Very, very interesting, with the proof that you had from the lady all that while back when you were started to, well, not all that while back, but, when you started that long distance manifestation process. And and we can all, we're all that powerful that we have this ability. That's the great thing about it.
Watch this. I'm ace at gravity. I'm the best you've ever seen at gravity. Yeah. Yeah, pooey. We're all equally good at this stuff. And you don't have to, no special training, no skills, no, nothing, like breathing. It's amazing. It's our gift.
Now, there's others out there that have said, and many wise people have said this as well, when you give back, you get.
Yeah.
When you give back, you get.
Yeah.
When you're of service to others, you get. How does that fit into your work?
I purposely don't expect when I give. I don't want to entangle it. I just want to make the gift a pure gift, and I don't think about the rest on purpose. It happens. I see it happen. I really do. And I go, woohoo, and I let it go. I think that's smart.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting answer. Thank you for that. But I think, as you're saying, there is something in that, in the sense that when you do that, it does seem to always come back. But let's just put it to one side for the moment. That's fine.
Wait a minute. No,
but
there's something about that, though. Sorry to interrupt. Here's what I do, though. Money's a little tight. Time's a little tight. I'll give time and I'll give money anyway, like I'm a millionaire. I won't give away big sums. But I'm not going to say, I can't do it right now. I can't write that check, even if it's $10. I just can't do it because money's too tight. I'll do what I would probably typically do, as if I have it anyway. I'm creating something when I do that. I know I am. I'm not creating lack because I didn't say I can't because. I'm saying, oh, I can. And then
you're not going to put blocks in your... Yeah.
And then I do the physical action. I write the check, and I put it in the physical world. I made it happen. Yes, I can. and then I'll look around and go, boy, I don't do big numbers because I'm not running into the bigness, but they're pretty good. But it's enough. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it, and it's a gift. But I don't.
Just a quick answer as well.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick answer as well. Thank you for that, by the way. Are you one that's really wanted lots of wealth to experience lots of wealth?
No, because there's the equivalent of wealth. So I've been in many parts of the world at little or no cost to me. I have friends who just get by and friends who have enough money for multiple lifetimes. And I remember that statement, rich people are not like us. That's true. But it's a lot of fun when they've got their stuff together. And it's kind of magical, because there's just more things to do. But when you see kids playing in the floor doing their make-believe, my God, they're just thrilled to death. That's happiness. That's happiness. So I don't try to put money in line with any of those concepts.
Right. I thought that about yourself. Yeah, I picked that up on yourself. Yeah.
It's tempting.
No, which is
the way the world works, you think, but it really doesn't work that way. That's the illusion.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we can start this process off with just baby steps as well, can't we?
Yeah, but if you're a genie, why would you do a baby step?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Why would you sit around and wait 6 months for that? So a story, I'll make it very quick just to illustrate that. A woman a couple years back took an art class from me, and I talked about manifesting on the last day at the end of the day. I always do. She came and said, I have glaucoma. What should I do? I don't want to lose my eyesight. And I said, well, go to your future. I choked on that. I would try to be glib. I try to be smooth. And I said, go to your future. In your future, you don't have glaucoma, and you're very, very grateful. Well, long story short, a couple of months out, she went to her doctor. The doctor said, you don't have any evidence of glaucoma. Now, if you trust me, I'm going to take you off your medication. It's slow-moving disease. And come back in 6 months, and we're going to test you again and see where this glaucoma is. So after those 2 months in that first doctor visit, she thought, right in line with what you're thinking, that was a big thing to ask for. But now she's thinking, what if this works? What if this works? My husband said he would retire if we got $20,000 more. So in her future, she imagined that her husband walks into the house, gives her a check for $20,000, and it's done. 6 months later, now 8 months out, goes to the doc again, no glaucoma. He said, go see another doctor. They have different equipment. This is very unusual. Check it out. Goes to another doctor, says, what glaucoma? Husband comes in a few days, few weeks, gives her a check for $10,000, and she laughs in his face. And he's hurt. You give somebody an engagement ring, they laugh at you, that's not a good thing. He said, what? She tells me the story. And he said, I've got one more sale coming in, and I'll get another $10,000 commission. It'll be here in 2 weeks. So she got started right away. That's what I would recommend.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's
welcome.
A really good story. Thank you. Okay, and oh gosh, right. Let's just see what we haven't covered that might be really important as well. Well, I suppose just to not come from fear, or don't try to recognize that which may be blocking us. Maybe that I know that's not part of your work, but we've got to be careful that the fear is not putting us off what we're what we're entitled to, in a sense, from this universe.
Well, how the heck do you do that? And get an A+ at that, It comes back to that faith thing. Call the Pope. The world's a mess. How's his faith? So you getting 100 A+ in faith? Otherwise, the world would be fine. So I couldn't figure that out either. And that's a lot of the books, piles of books about all this stuff and self-help and, you name it, under all kind of titles and all different subject matter. It was given to me. It was a download. I'm not used to getting downloads. I'm in knucklehead mode, okay? But somehow they got through. I didn't hear it, but it was like I heard it. And this is what I got about that, because I was in high fear about making a really substantial payment that was coming due on the perfect house. and the American Express bill that I'd ran up to the moon because I'm celebrating the perfect house like an idiot. So it's going to be hard to make that bill. And this is what came in. Take actions on your worries. What the heck is that? Take action on your worries. I don't know what that means. And I had been working on this all day. I was sweating bullets about this fear thing because I know that if I'm worrying about it and I'm fearing it, and baby I am, it's making it as fast as it can. I'm going to lose this perfect house. I can't afford to have thoughts and load them up with fear. Can't afford it. I don't want to get sick. I don't, all this stuff. So the rest of the information came in, and it was this. You're going to take action on that fear. So you name the problem. You're up at the middle of the night with a problem. And it is your knee has been hurting you, and it's getting worse, and you can't sleep, and you're sick with fear because there's this thing about cancer in your family, or leukemia, or warts gone wild, whatever it is, and you're worried about your knee and what's going wrong with your knee because medically, I don't know. And you're focusing a worry on that knee and loading it up with fear, and your thoughts are going to work on your knee because that's what they do, and they just love making. Well, I think they're clueless. It's just like a machine. So you can't afford it. So here's what you do. You're going to take action on that. I call them concerns now. You grab your smartphone, get a piece of paper, turn on the light. 9 o'clock, I'm going to call the doctor and make an appointment. Now, did that eliminate your fear? Heck no. But you're taking action on that. Let's say it's financial. 9 o'clock in the morning, you're going to go to the office. You're going to call the boss and ask for a raise. Now, be prepared. Can you contribute to the company to have that conversation? Number 2, let's take some more action on this lack of income, lack of financial security. Call a mentor in your field or in your life. What have they got? Maybe they've been through this. Here's another one. Let's go out and look at other jobs in your area of expertise. Here's another one. You can do many of these. You got that little sideline business? Activate that thing. Let's see what happens on that. Put some real energy into that. Don't try to make a corporation out of it, but put something in there as a sideline, but treat it seriously. And so you're taking action on those fears. They're worries, but they're fears. And, when you do those things, you might not get them all done in a day, but they're on your list and you are taking action on them. You're not just sitting back. And you're not helpless. You're making moves. Pat yourself on the back. You're making moves on this. This is a lack that you're working on. And that's all you can do. And by the way, you're the only guy in a mile radius that's going to the future to work on this. And you know what? There's nothing else you can do. Now relax. Are you going to worry? Yeah, but say to yourself, quit the worry. I'll call in the morning. I'll get on this again. I'm going to turn on some television. I'll read a book. I'm going to take a nap. That's all you can do.
That's right. That's right. What would you say, thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
What would you say is the most important message of your work?
This is a gift. You're born with this. You can create anything. Everything that's ever been invented on the planet was a puff of smoke first. And if there is a God, he's been kind to us, we get to co-create. He did not invent the iPhone 6. It was not destiny. Somebody came up with it. And a whole bunch of people jumped on board and this thing happened. You can create so-called good things, so-called bad things. And sometimes the hardest things in our life are the best teachers of our life. Nobody gets out of here without pain. We have a lot of wiggle room. And if there's something in your life that is in your way, if there's something in your life that you no longer need or want or desire, you're not going to have it. In your future, it does not exist. And those things that you desire, that you wish for, put them in your future and be grateful in every seeing. Now, I'm always out in the world. I just get these little hits. And I'll tell somebody, I don't tell them about the book, you're supposed to make a wish. And sometimes I wish someone and said, I'm going to go through this little scenario, just bear with me if that's okay. And they'll say, I beg your pardon? I'm getting a hamburger through the car window here. So you're supposed to make a wish. Do you understand? And they'll say, well, I'm not sure. And I said, well, it's kind of like maybe your people are, or maybe I'm a little psychic, or maybe I'm a little crazy, but your people are telling me to tell you to make a wish. Lots and lots of wishes. Do you make wishes? And they'll go, no. but I do for other people. I say, no, this is just for you, just for you. Or they'll say, well, I did once and it happened and it scared me, so I don't do it anymore. Or I don't believe in that, or this thing or that thing. It's not very often that I come across somebody that's actually praying or making wishes. So yes, make some wishes by any form.
Well, look, your website as well, just very quickly, your website?
www.manifesting123.com. And get on that newsletter. There's a story from a reader every Friday, and 100 of them to go look at.
Well, Ken Elliott, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today.
My great honor. It's great fun to see you and to talk with you and kid around and do something very serious with a lot of laughs on the way.
Well, we've come to an end on tonight's show. Don't forget that you can listen and watch all our past interviews on the More Show's official YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new daily shows. You may also find out more on all past and upcoming guests on the show via themoreshow.co.uk, and do like us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates. So until next time, be safe.